Welcome to Manor Community School. It's been a year on since we made our last restorative practice video. This is just to show our journey so far.
We've been developing the use of restorative practice for over a year now at Manor Community School. We've seen a significant change in pupil behaviour. One indicator for that might be the approximately 90% reduction in fixed term exclusion from school. Attendance is up 3%. That's a very big jump in a secondary school attendance figure.
A year on, I think the atmosphere has changed in the classroom because now pupils are arguing less and falling out less now. Teachers are talking to pupils about what's gone wrong and pupils get their own say.
You see a lot more teachers coming out of their lessons to talk to the student about what's happened and how they can improve or change what's happened and trying to, not that there's no consequence, but try to solve the problem right there.
The idea of restorative practice is fantastic for building relationships with the pupils. I found that quite often the pupils can dwell on things, and I personally can dwell on things and think that tomorrow, how am I going to approach that situation? Whereas with restorative practice and being able to have these little chats, being able to focus my questioning so that we actually always look at the future and how we can sort of resolve the situation.
Coming from a school that didn't have RP, just seeing the massive difference between pupils, how they treat each other, how they treat the teachers, and their understanding of how their behaviour affects other people.
I've seen a massive change throughout the whole school. I think there's been a big impact on behaviour in general.
I think pupils are now more willing to sort out their own situations instead of getting a staff involved. A pupil can call on someone that they know to help them because we've got representatives in every year.
When I've done the right thing in lessons, I've got a friend in restorative practice that helps me out. I'd like to talk about what I did wrong and how I need to improve it.
I've been involved in an RP session when resolving conflict, and that just basically involved me speaking to him on a one-to-one basis for about 15 minutes and seeing how he finds school and what the positives and negatives are of his school life. And I spoke to him a couple of weeks after his the RP session I did with him, and he said that he was very grateful for what I did for him.
I helped solve a problem between two coaches which used to argue quite a lot, and then I think they just realised that it'd be a lot easier if they just sorted the problem out and listened to each other.
I can actually use the pupils who have been trained in restorative practice to actually kind of manage the behaviour in the classroom for me. And I know that sounds like a bit of a cop-out, but it's great because they actually take responsibility for it. The other pupils have respect for those particular pupils, and it works so incredibly well.
I'm seeing children as I'm walking around the corridors just shuffling along and saying, "Oh miss, we've just done an amazing RP session and we've sorted this out," and they're really thrilled with it. Pupils are taking time now to reflect on their own behaviour within classrooms or on corridors and taking opportunities to go back and speak to teachers about that, and I think that's had a big impact.
I think relationships between members of staff and pupils and families also, since I was here, have changed massively really. Families now feel that they can come to us and ask us for support as well with problems outside school as well, not just problems in.
She kept saying she didn't want to come here and she wanted to change schools, and it was over something petty. I think if it hadn't been for sitting down together, it'd have still been she said this, she said that, which ended up getting resolved, and she's happy here. She loves it.
I've become more confident while speaking, and I know how to resolve problems better, and I know the simple things that I need to do right.
Before becoming a rep, there was a few moments he had in school where I'd receive phone calls and I'd have to come up and have a chat with the teachers about it. But now, because he's a rep, he recognises the school protocol, and he also notices that good behaviour means it makes his life easier.
Well, whilst I'm at home, if I do have a disagreement with my mum now, I know not to just get angry a bit about it, and I just listen to what my mum's got to say, and then we just resolve the problem if it ever does occur.
I've had actually one or two lovely letters from parents saying how it's had such a big impact on their own child that RP sessions that we've done in school have then rolled into the home, and that the children have been taking it on board with actually younger siblings in the home, which is fantastic.
And it makes pupils want to come to school. It makes us parents' evenings better attended.
I'm going to look for the person with the biggest We start every morning off with a circle after the register time. We pass something around the circle and it allows the children to say how they're feeling that day. That gives us a chance to follow up on anything if a child isn't feeling so happy or unhappy for any reason. But it also allows them to listen to each other and listen to their friends to see how they're feeling so they can go and follow up from that with each other as well.
Happy. I feel excited. I feel wobbly.
A bit wobbly today. Instead of coming automatically to the teacher if there's a problem or if something they want to discuss, they'll automatically go to each other and sort it out.
So what do we do if we've hit or we've pushed someone? What do we do?
Try and solve it by yourself, and if you can't, tell the teacher.
We definitely use it if the pupils have fallouts. I think it's really important for them to reflect on their actions and the actions of their friends. It's something that the children see the staff do and the staff see the children do. So we sort of learn from each other in respect to that. It's learning with each other. The parents have fed back definitely that the children are solving their own problems at home, whether that's with siblings or with the parents themselves, that they're using the language within the RP steps and asking the parents, did that make you feel sad, Mum? Or that's made me feel a little bit better talking about that.
Sad, why did it make you feel sad?
Because she pushed in.
She pushed in front of you. What about you, Komal?
Sad and disappointed.
This year we've introduced what we call staff time, which is the first half an hour of the school week. They will sit together and check in at the beginning of the week using restorative approaches, restorative language. We will set different conversations for problem-solving conversations and sharing good practice conversations. And it's really built the confidence of the staff and the ownership of the direction of travel for the school.
I think that's what works in my group.
All the visitors that we've had I think they've learned quite a lot from what we've been doing at school. They all seem to be very impressed.
The body language is a lot different, where before it was more, I'm the big hard person, now it's just more relaxed. The social skill factor of it, definitely. So they open up and speak more.
I spent several days recently just around the corridor seeing how people are getting on, transition between classes, and they seem extremely calm and they seem happy to learn. That's one thing that was very apparent.
At the moment, partnership is becoming critical to a whole range of school improvement agendas, and we need to have very strong relationships with our local partners, be it in the very near locality or be it across the city, be they educational partners or other services.
If something goes wrong, they know that it will come back to school, that people in the community actually will come to school with a problem and they know that it can be dealt with.
RP has helped our more vulnerable pupils by giving them a framework to resolve conflict. They're getting to the point now where they're modelling it, they're doing it, and they're seeing how it works, and they're starting to begin to apply it into their own lives and their own situation. It will have helped some of them outside of school by enabling them to take it back to where they come from their houses, with their friendships, with whatever activities they do outside school, how they communicate maybe on the internet, and how they maybe don't enter into as much cyberbullying or other conflicts that are more social media orientated.
Anything that we've put into place, in my opinion, hasn't affected the school climate as much as restorative practice.
In and out of school, in sport, at home, just being more like understanding, and the attitude towards school life and sport, RP's helped massively.
I think that restorative practice can help me in later life because it's a great skill and a great tool that can be transferred to anywhere. So it can help you solve your own relationships and help others fix their relationships.
It makes me feel better because I can make the relationship back. So like if I fall out with him, I can make it back if I talk about it more.
I think that now all we can do is just try to keep it going and train more people. So hopefully we'll get to a point where almost everyone's trained and everyone will have this tool, which has been so useful to me.